Alright, welcome back to G&G Plays Kingdom Hearts. I'm Christopher.
And I'm Tabatha.
And last time we defeated Maleficent, the mistress of all evil.
Yes.
And today we are going to be finishing up our first round here at Hollow Bastion.
I'd say some excellent work went into that last battle. Definitely a challenge.
I mean, just big dragons. Like, it's nice that they can figure out how to do, like, giant battles.
I do like that kind of stuff. The graphics are just really good. So far, I would have to say my overall assessment of the game is I really like it. I think it's incredibly visually done. This part right here is a big favorite of mine.
Yeah, this is where Maleficent was storing all the princesses of heart. Essentially, they need 7 pure maidens to open up Kingdom Hearts. Or
maidens? Aren't they all married?
I don't know.
Pretty sure they're all married, except for like maybe. Did Jasmine ever actually marry Aladdin?
Yes. Yes. Remember? King of Thieves? There's a whole song about it. We're finally getting married.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, because there was a conflict going on and there was, like, all this other stuff, so I wasn't... It's been so long since I've seen that one.
It has been a very long time. I actually thought that was a really good one.
I mean, like, so, like, for me...
Well, they brought Robin Williams back to do Genie. He actually came back for that one.
Nice.
He wasn't in it for the second one, but he was back for the third.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I didn't even get to the third, because I didn't... Once Robin Williams was gone in the second one, I was like, eh.
Yeah, the second one was really weird.
The princess?
I mean, Jafar just wasn't himself.
Kairi's a princess?
I mean, he wasn't as ominous. Like, in the first one, like, I felt like he was a real threat. In the second one, yeah, he was powerful, but he was stupid. And that's not the Jafar I know.
I think what was happening is at that time Disney just kept spitting out 2 and 3 of all of the princess films, and it was really bad writing.
That was like what, the early 2000s when they
late 90s, early 2000s. It was like Cinderella 2 and 3.
Get theatrical releases. They were straight to video.
Right? Yeah, there was a time where Disney went straight to video. Unheard of now.
Yeah, everything goes to the theater now.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't get released at all.
I think they have, well, because they have the Disney Channel, so they do smaller shows and smaller projects on that.
Yeah.
And then something else, I just learned it in a class called Selling the News that I'm taking at Eastern Oregon University. Yes, right now I'm working on my bachelor degree in history. And one of the things we learned in that class was that Disney owns everything.
Yeah, they pretty much do.
There was this site you could go to kind of like look at who owns what company, because when you're looking at information, you want to look at the source behind it to see like what kind of bias could be present in those scenarios. And yeah, Disney was just like scroll, ESPN, and like, you know, apparently that's at the what's the big Epcot Center.
Oh, the cultural hub at Disney World?
And I guess they have like an ESPN center at either Disneyland or Disney World, one of the two. I think it's at Disney World, but let us know in the audience if any of you guys know which one it is. So yeah, they own so much. Lifetime? I didn't know that. No wonder Lifetime films are so good, so wholesome.
Sorry, this is probably one of the harder fights in the game.
Oh, no.
At least for me.
This guy's a real challenge. I mean, he always shows up, and that's really the point. Is
well, this isn't even Riku anymore. When we beat him the first time, that was Riku. But then he started talking to that guy in the brown cloak, and that guy possessed him.
Yeah.
So Riku is very non-existent for a while. But yeah, this guy is just mad. You'll always see me jump in the air when I'm healing.
Some little clovers.
Which ones?
Well, it looked like he had little clovers.
That's kind of the fun thing about the Keyblade is when you shift it out, the hit that you do, it changes the animation for it. So this one's got like stars and stuff.
He just hit you with darkness.
This is his strongest move here, which is Dark Aura, which allows him to teleport around and do horribleness to me.
Jeez, goodness.
Yeah,
good thing you could float.
Yeah, dude. Thank Peter Pan. All right.
That's right.
He taught me how to fly. Learned this move from Cloud. Uh-oh. Dark Aura again. Never give up.
Never surrender. I love that movie. That's seriously one of my favorite
He's
movies.
the immortal. Okay, got him. You want me to bring the hammer down? Wither and Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
And it's like in Thor, they're all worried about Ragnarok, and I can just do that. Yeah, we gotta try to lock down this keyhole so that it can't just pour darkness out into the world.
Yeah, I think in ancient Norse mythology, that's like Fenrir, the wolf, is who brings about Ragnarok.
And Fenrir is the child of Loki, right?
I don't remember.
I think that's accurate. Let us know in the comments below if we're right on that.
Yeah, Norse mythology is not the one I've spent a long time learning. I'm more familiar with Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, and I mean, I've learned some of the Norse, but I think the Celtic stuff was that mythology and that lore was probably the most interesting to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I liked fairies and all that good stuff, you know.
So this part right here is probably the most significant part of the whole series. Because this action right here sets a lot of things in motion that he could never have even thought were possible.
Did he just pick up a dark sword?
Yes, he did. Yeah, so part you might have missed here is so somehow Kyrie's heart is in his. So in the beginning when she like disappeared, when she like ran into him,
Yeah.
that I think that was when like her heart got absorbed into his.
Oh.
And that Keyblade, which just got destroyed, was also holding all the princesses' hearts captive. And now they're all released. This will finish the keyhole for Kingdom Hearts.
Cool.
But at the same time, Sora loses his heart in this process. So gets to wake her up, but he's gonna fade.
Oh, how Romeo and Juliet. She wakes up just as he passes.
Yeah, I think there's more to Kyrie. She is, yeah, you'll see in a minute here.
Oh, that's sad.
What's happening to me? Falling into darkness.
So this thing right here is the whole reason that even Kingdom Hearts 2 really happened. It's like, I mean, this part is like the catalyst to everything that happens going forward.
Huh.
If he hadn't done this, like a lot of things wouldn't have happened.
Won't let him go.
Good or bad?
Half and half.
So,
It's like it wasn't really a good thing, nor was it really a bad thing.
I mean, he just released everyone
This
else.
is Ansem. So this is the guy that was in that cloak that possessed Riku.
But now it's over.
So this is the guy who did all that research on the Heartless and stuff. We've been getting his reports of as we've been beating bosses.
You think we can stop him all by ourselves? I don't know.
Impossible.
No. You won't use me for
Riku
this.
actually is not that weak, surprisingly.
Oh.
You've got to run. The Heartless are coming.
Because it's still Riku's body, to an extent.
Oh.
So some of his spirit kind of lingers.
What happened to the Keyblade, Sora's Keyblade?
Well, it's just gone at the moment. And this is who we're going to play as for a little bit. So when someone loses their heart, they become a Heartless.
Oh. So that's Sora?
Yeah. Well, it's based on how much darkness is in your heart, or at least that's a few of the theories. And I mean, he's kind of pure and innocent. So it's like he wouldn't really have a lot of darkness in his heart. So his Heartless would be rather weak, I would think. This is just the quickest way to get around. Why
I don't
did you die?
I don't want to live anymore.
But it's like, I mean, I actually don't know why this part happens, why you even get control of this. It should have just, like, showed up in this room up ahead. Like, it should have just been a cutscene to it. This seems like just kind of a waste of time. Because you can't, like, attack, you can't go into your menu. Like, all you can do is jump and look stupid.
Well, it's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny. So Donald and Goofy are like, yeah, the darkness is pouring out. We just got to get out of here. And Kyrie's like, I can't leave him. And he's like, we really don't have a choice, girl. We got to go. So Donald sees me and he's like, yeah, I'm going to take care of this problem. And this is where Kyrie, I think, has some kind of unique power to do certain things.
Sora? Is that you?
Oh, Sora, you brought friends.
This time I'll protect you.
Well, I don't think you're going to do a great job at that without a weapon.
She's gonna pull out some serious kung fu.
Or just get eaten. That works too. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here. Like,
Kyrie, thank you.
I think that Kyrie has some kind of power to be able to bring these people back.
Wow.
I would imagine she does, because you don't see this anywhere else. Ah, there you are, Beast. I wondered where you went.
La bête.
Go now!
Why are you still a beast?
I told you before. I'm not leaving without.
In their world, they haven't even done their, like, dance yet.
Go!
Like, basically, she became his prisoner, and they were, like,
All right.
kind of starting to become friends, and then their world got destroyed. Because it's in the second game, you actually go to his world, and you actually see them do the whole dance and everything.
Oh, okay.
So it's like their world got destroyed, like,
Tell me
in a
what
short
happened.
period of time. So we're brought back to Traverse Town, talking to Leon, giving him an update on the situation.
So the darkness is flowing out of that keyhole.
No wonder there are more and more Heartless everywhere.
Yeah, so basically when we completed the keyhole, that's like a keyhole to the darkness, basically.
Maybe.
So it's like there's
but no
just
one
a
knows
ton
what
of
will
Heartless
happen
and
once
strong
you see
ones showing up.
Okay.
Well, we can't just stay here.
So everything
We
just
have
got
to
a
do
lot harder
something.
for us.
I've got a friend back there.
That's right. You have one more friend to worry about. Riku's Keyblade must have been born of the captive princess's hearts. Just like that keyhole you saw. Of course, without Kyrie's heart, it remained incomplete.
So yeah, Kyrie is one of the princesses
Once
of
that
heart.
Keyblade was destroyed,
So that's how
princess's
she's able to
hearts
bring him
should have
back.
been freed.
That's a piece of
Don't
it.
worry,
I mean,
Sora.
you learn some stuff later
Anyone
on in
can
the
save your
series that
friend.
she's a lot more special than
You
you would
can.
think. Alright, let's see. Looks like all the princesses of heart that woke up after the keyhole was opened, they're hanging out at Hollow Bastion trying to keep it from going nuts. Just talking to everybody to see if there's anything they say. Let's see. Do I remember right? Oh, let's see. Yeah, so these are. You remember here in Traverse Town, we didn't have very strong Heartless before, but now we've got some of the really mean ones here.
Oh. Seems like you're making quick work of them, though.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time fighting them, so you get kind of used to them. These defenders are always kind of a problem, though. But they drop a good amount of experience, so they're a quick. At this point, like, the experience has gone up a lot, so we'll probably be leveling pretty quick. Let's see, do I have any more postcards? Nope, I don't. And oh yeah, Traverse Town. So there's a new house here. So remember, after Monstro, they were kicked out too, so they're here now.
Obtain Sid.
Yeah, so when you destroy a bunch of gummy ships, you come back to Geppetto and he has, like, crafted new ones for you. So he just gives you blueprints for a bunch of different ships. A lot of Final Fantasy style stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is Sid. So we're talking to Sid. We're trying to get back to Hollow Bastion, but there's just a huge armada and we've got to somehow get around that. Good thing for us, Sid has secret gummy pieces that will be super useful to us. Man, he's been here for 9 years.
Just standing there.
I'm gonna say, like, I really like just how they built the world. Like, it actually is a really beautiful, like, game.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go over here and see if there's any of Dalmatians for us to turn in. I think there are. Yep. So we've collected quite a few puppies at this point. I think we're only missing a handful.
Mithril shard.
Yep, we'll use that in our crafting later. But you can see, like, the more of the puppies you find, they all have, like, a designated place in the house. So when you find all 99 of them, I mean, this place is just completely packed. This is a big house. Those wizards. They're just hard to fight because they, like, disappear and warp around and become invincible at times. Like, they're
It's pretty cool how they got the eyeball hanging out in the chain. Like, they're all...
Oh yeah, this is our new Trinity.
I love that.
So we got that at Hollow Bastion when we teamed back up with Donald and Goofy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
How come she's not running around with you?
Well, because she has no real skills.
That's terrible.
Well, she doesn't know how to use any of her power yet. She gets trained later. So she's not useless forever. So this
Yeah,
is
it seems kind of like a waste to have a prominent female character not do anything.
Yeah. They'll kind of explain that here, though. So there's a bit of that, and then it'll go into cutscene here.
The light at the end of the tunnel.
I think so. Like, I like watching a lot of like my favorite shows, like Arrow, The Flash,
We were together.
Legends of Tomorrow, especially.
I
Love
looked
that.
everywhere for you.
And
But you were with me all along.
Supergirl. All four of
Finally,
those
we're
together.
Kyrie.
They definitely have some strong female characters, but many of them start out as kind of
Will ever be the same again between us? Riku's
you know,
lost his.
more brainy or more
When I
like
turned into
they've
a
got other
heartless,
talents, and then
you
as
saved me,
the
remember?
show progresses, then each of them
I was
you know
lost
get
in the
into something,
darkness. I couldn't find my
and then
way.
they start developing
As I
like the
stumbled
physical
through the
strength
dark,
on top of
I
the
started forgetting
emotional
things.
strength that
My
they already
friends,
have, which
who
is
I
pretty cool.
was.
So
The
it's a fun way to
darkness
see a
was
character grow that way.
Yeah.
But then I heard a voice.
I think they
Your
do it the
voice.
best. I think that the
brought me
DC
I didn't want to
TV
just forget
shows
about
are
you,
just
Sora.
killing it. They do really great work.
Yeah,
That's
the
it.
movies, not so much. But the TV
hearts are
series, they've been doing good.
I don't know what they're
And the
doing
light
with the
from our
movies, but I have to
hearts
say,
broke
if they
through the
took those same
darkness.
characters
I
from the
saw that
shows
light.
and gave them a movie,
I think that's what
I
saved me.
guarantee you it would be better than any of that nonsense
matter
they
how
put out
deep
in
the
the
darkness,
film
a light
industry.
shines
Yeah,
within.
I would agree with you on that.
There just
guess
comes a
it's
point
more
when
than just
too
a
many
fairy
special effects begin to actually ruin a
Let's
story.
go.
You just got to use them in the right way. I mean,
That's why-
superhero movies, there's a lot of destruction and mayhem and
it's
weird
way too
abilities.
dangerous.
So it's like you need
Yeah.
to be able to do that, but you need to do it in a way that it's not
Sora?
that distracting.
We made it this far by sticking
That's
And
a
that's
great way to
difficult.
describe that. Yeah, it just
Because-
needs to be not so distracting. And I just feel like it is. It's like
Even
you're
if we're
going,
apart,
like, let's say one
we're not
person
alone
falls and then that person gets caught, and you're just like in this crazy. They do that a lot.
can't help.
One person falls off a flying
can't be in
object,
my
then
way.
gets caught, and then they're zooming through, and it's like literally every single scene.
Yeah.
You win.
And now Marvel does a pretty good job of it in the films.
Take this. It's my lucky
Well, yeah, the
charm. Be
Avengers
sure to
and
bring
all
it
that
back to
stuff.
me.
But
Don't worry, I will.
you know, there aren't
Promise?
that many great female
Promise.
Avengers compared to DC characters, in my opinion.
Never
Well, you
I've
got-
always been
you
a
got
bigger.
Scarlet Witch, you got Black Widow.
with you.
Those are two there, and then you've got.
I mean,
see.
call me weird, but I've never found Black Widow's character compelling at all. Like, Scarlett Johansson hasn't done anything for me. she just shows up to the battles. I think that's great, and she's super, you know.
I mean, she makes more of an impact in the Captain America movies. She makes more of an impact there. Like, when she's with him, it works because he's human, she's human. She looks like she's contributing. When you've got Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, like, she's just like, why am I even here?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely does her job in those, but the problem is that why haven't we had a Black Widow movie? Why is she one of the main characters in the Avengers and no one gives a crap about giving her a film? I want to know about this assassin, warrior
she talks
female.
She talks a lot of stories.
Yeah, but she always does it in some sort of tear-filled, like, thing. I want to see her experience it so I can connect to her, because I don't connect to crying women. I don't.
No, you need strong characters.
If you're in a film and you're trying to get me to feel bad for you, it's not going to work out very well. I have to see your trauma to feel bad for you. I can't just you tell me with some tears, because it just, I mean, it has literally no effect on me. It's no different to me looking at someone crying and telling me their sob story than somebody telling me about their day. It's really like in a film. Let's be real. Let's be clear. I'm talking about when we're progressing a story about a person in film, not in real life. In real life, naturally, I would just be like devastated to hear somebody's story and just be like, oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah.
But in a film though, because they have the liberty to show me. It's like in good writing. Don't tell me what happened. Show me what happened. And that's why I want to see more of her to feel for her. Otherwise, I didn't care that she was connecting with Bannon as Banner. Sorry.
Bannon.
Ooh. Wrong subject, but wrong channel. But yeah, when she was connecting with Bruce Banner and stuff, I'm just like, but he's a genius and she is a fighter. That's not really those two people aren't going to last any long term. And the things that we're interested in seeing in relationships is the Peggy Carter. You know what I mean? Like on her deathbed, you know, there was Steve holding her hand, just like, God, I always wanted to kiss you. And in my mind, I was like, well, she ain't dead yet, buddy. I don't know why you're waiting. Guess now or never. I mean, she still looks pretty good. You know, look at the older women in Hollywood nowadays. They look fantastic. So I would say, well, I mean, I'm not really sure what's stopping you at this point, young man. You've kind of surpassed all the hurdles, including being frozen. For ever. So I really feel like maybe you two should find a way and just dig on an old lady for a minute. You know? Just because she's dying doesn't mean she's dead from the neck down yet. I mean, this is just like one of the, like, if the man of my dreams showed up.
He looked exactly the same.
I would be like, oh, thank goodness I worked out all those years because
my body is ready.
I may not have much strength for much longer, buddy, but I guarantee you that you're going to have the ride of your life before I go. It's time to dance, baby. Remember the whole dancing partner conversation they always had? I'd be like, well, it's time to get the horizontal mambo out of the way, guys, because I really think, I mean, you know, they put some old lady makeup on her, but even still, that woman's gorgeous. It's hard to, you know, bring down her beauty, even with age.
True. It's like makeup will only do so much.
I'm just saying, old men are with young women all the time. I don't see why. And frankly, you know, he's only like maybe a couple years younger than her. It's hard to say how old he actually was. So she was already in the military, and he was trying to get in.
Yeah.
He was just little.
Yeah, he was tiny. And then
he was like a halfling or something. It was really funny how they set him up.
I thought it was kind of cool, actually.
Oh, I loved it. You know, I was so surprised by the animation and that they did that I actually go back and rewatch Captain America more than any of the other Avenger films. I think it's the best.
I mean, yeah, well, I thought it was a really good movie.
I mean, get rid of the Red Skull part.
Well, that's his like main enemy. Like, that's like legit his main enemy.
I know, but I mean that.
And the only one who ever actually succeeds in killing his opponent. That's like in the end, Captain America dies to Red Skull.
I mean, in that time period, sure.
No, at the end of like the comic series back in the day.
Oh, he actually does.
Oh yeah,
die?
Red Skull wins.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if he wins
Well, then
like, the whole thing, but he does kill Captain America.
Does he come back?
It's a good question. I actually don't know. I haven't really looked too much into that. All I know is that he...
Is the Red Skull still alive?
Yeah, well, there was there was a Red Skull, like... There was kind of a Marvel DC crossover at one point, and Joker teams up with Red Skull, and then Joker finds out that he's actually a Nazi, and he's like, dude, I may be an insane criminal, but I'm an American... You know.
I'm a patriot, man.
And he just turns on the Red Skull and like goes after him.
That's beautiful.
And Joker just, in all of his majesty, goes after him.
That's right. We can't be fraternizing with Nazis. It's unacceptable. There are some things, as Dad would say, you just don't do. Being a Nazi or associated with them is one of them. And I'm glad the Joker has at least some sense. Doesn't have much. But he is at least American. He might be crazy and just off his freaking rocker, but he's our crazy. I mean, I really think that, the imagination of Stan Lee and all of the other guys that have put together these incredible heroes, what amazing imaginations they have.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't think of that stuff.
And what an incredible respect for ancient mythology that they have.
Well, they pull all their stuff from somewhere.
Exactly. Where do they think magic stuff comes from? It's all old stuff about deities and things like that. And then they just applied it to modern day situations, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see like the first renditions of that stuff. Because, like, I mean, you gotta remember, that stuff was made a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you see how those, like, shows are. Like, you could make a lot of that kind of stuff now.
Yeah, like, Batman's gotten way too dark. It needs to lighten up a little bit.
No, Batman's always been dark.
No. Like, the point of the villains was to lighten it up. Yes, they're all doing evil things. But the way that they do it is so campy and so, like...
I mean, really, a lot
entertaining.
Of people give, when I really think about it, it's like people give Batman, a lot of shit for not, like, just taking out his enemies. It's like, it's not his job to do it. His job is to capture them and let the justice system do the work.
Yeah, he's a hunter. He's not a murderer.
He's a bounty hunter, essentially.
That's a great way to put it. Batman is a bounty hunter. But with no bounty, he doesn't receive any money from it because he's so rich.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, really, if the justice system was put together right, then Batman would have done the job right. Like,
I don't know. I wonder if vigilantism is very American.
I don't know. We're all about, like, taking people out, so.
We also, it says that we can do citizen arrests, so it's kind of written into our laws that we're allowed to, like...
I mean, in this day and age, though, you have to have a really good reason and proof and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even look at people anymore without lawsuits going up in the air.
Yeah, it's a very, very scary world of a lot of justice in all the wrong places. But, the thing with Batman is that I feel like the Joker is really that, like, taking that society and flipping it on its head, and that's why they're so compelling. Or it's just cool. Like, it's very interesting.
I mean, the thing that makes
they do very bad things? Oh, absolutely. And I don't want to say that I'm like pro villain, but I kind of am.
Well, because they write the villains in a way that are interesting.
They're so compelling, and they have some very interesting reasons for doing what they do and becoming what they are.
So.
I think I've just always really liked the Joker, and it also has to do with Mark Hamill, because he's amazing.
It's amazing that voice comes out of that man.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have seen that. It wasn't until many years later that I found out that it was him.
I loved that video that we watched where, like, the guy doing Batman, he's, like, very up, and he's, like...
Kevin Conroy?
He's, like, looking down in such an amazing way, and he's just delivering flawless, just awesome.
And he's done that forever.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
he
you
is
see
Batman.
Mark Hamill over there in the corner all twisted up and getting gnarled and everything. He's like, laughing in his maniacal ways. That's so legendary.
That laugh is quite legendary.
Yeah, so, I mean... And then, here's a fun nod to, this is where DC TV is doing it right. And that's on The Flash. On an episode of season... It might have been season 1 or season 2. But Mark Hamill got to go and play the... What was he? He was like a trickster or something. He was some sort of like...
Yeah.
He was basically a Joker.
Yeah, he basically was playing a different kind of Joker.
But he was called the Trickster, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Yeah, that's one of Flash's enemies.
And he was it was so amazing because they had his hair all spiked up and his face is all painted up like the Joker. So it's basically a nod to him being the Joker and getting to play the Trickster on a TV show. And I would have literally lost it if I had met him. He's literally the coolest person I've ever seen, and he's so well put together. His head is on his shoulders solidly. He's really a smart guy. And he warned us. He warned us. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you know what I'm talking about. He tried to warn us. But seeing him play the Trickster was so cool. Oh, hey. She's dressed and ready.
Oh, Belle.
Yeah, so all the princesses are free. They're just hanging out in the castle trying to keep the darkness at bay. And she's just telling us the keyhole's in there. Be careful. And then a lot of people actually miss this, but you talk to her again, and she gives you a new Keyblade.
Oh!
The Divine Rose.
Ooh, I like it.
So it's like, this is the one I have right now. This is the Oath Keeper. This is what I just got from Kyrie. Kind of a neat one. I think that the Divine Rose is actually stronger.
You know, another cartoon I think is kind of fun that Logan introduced me to. Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah, I'll use that.
Was Ever After High, and it's basically the people sent their kids to a school. All of the Disney princesses and everybody has their own kingdoms and stuff, and they all have kids now, and they send them to school, and so the kids have to like maneuver school as well as social situations, dealing with who their parents are, like, because one of them is actually the daughter of the evil queen. So you've got, you know, like, there's definitely some really
Oh, good, it kept me on that path. So when we first went up this lift, it sent me the other way, and I triggered something the first time I was here to have it turn and send me the other way. So we're actually going to end up getting a chest or something over here, I think.
cool.
This is a big castle.
It's really big. It's very kind of... Are those like roses coming out of the sides? Like, is it...
No, it's just a lot of pipes.
Oh. They look very floral, though, so like very viney.
Alright, what do we get? Oh, the Ramu build. Ramu is the basically a god of lightning and storms in Final Fantasy.
Rama? Rama?
Yeah, I've never really figured out how to pronounce his name. I'm sure I pronounce it wrong, but
It might be Rama.
something. It's one of those two. Ramu, it's...
Well, it's kind of like when you read a book, you know, like I don't always know how to pronounce the names of the characters or something. And I can't stand it when people write stories and they use these really complicated names. I'm like, look.
And so if you're going to do that, put like...
Yeah, like put the little sub note next to it.
Like the beginning or the end of the book, it's like, hey, here are the names. Here's how the pronunciation is.
Yeah, sounds like this. You know, because I could
It's like,
literally.
I would just put a note in the back of the book. It's like, if you want to hear how these names are pronounced, then like just go to my website and click here, and you'll be able to hear it spoken.
I can't tell you how many times that
that
I've
could be a thing.
I've been the kind of person who's like pronounced something wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
I've done it so many
Well, a
times
good
in
example
books
in
and
this
things
one,
like that.
Like I always thought it was Gumi instead of Gummy.
It's like our instinct to try to make something sound better than it is, because it couldn't possibly be as terrible as Gummy. I can't take that seriously. No, the Gummy Warriors are on their way. Gummy Bears. See, like, I can't take it seriously. I watched Gummy Bears as a kid and things like that. Like, I just know. Tyrell and I used to take Tic Tac little dispensers,
Yeah.
and we would fill it with water, and then we go bouncing around the yard, pretending to be gummy bears. He was so fun to get to do, like, any little game. He was just always all for it.
It's like I hate fighting in this section because it's really easy to fall off, and if you fall off, you have to start all over. I really don't want to do that. Because you have to kill all the enemies so that you can interact with this thing. I'm gonna instantly kill you. You should die. My magic is not that strong. But yeah, to be able to activate that thing, to take the lift, I have to beat all the enemies in the area.
Hmm.
Now we get to ride this thing all the way across. I mean, this is definitely a very large world. I mean, it takes a while to get from point A to point B. It's hard to control the camera when you're moving. Those are big gears. That's like, it's interesting, like, half of it's gold and the other half is, like, not.
It's really weird. It's not a great design.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
It looks kind of messy and, like, ill thought. This is the one place I would probably say that I do not like the design.
I mean, certain parts of it are neat, but...
Sure, like that stained glass window, that's neat. But
I mean,
otherwise, like...
really, the place is built for a lot of symbolism, showing that there's two sides of the heart. The light side and the dark side. And they
Yeah.
can coexist.
Yeah, I just think they really did a very,
Like I said, like, this place is more of a symbolic thing than supposed to be pretty.
I've just seen some really great steampunk, and they really should have paid attention to something like that if they're going to put piping through things.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it, and then there's a messy way to do it. Like, I've been working on the Sims games lately and adding some piping here and there, and there definitely is a way to make it look good and not look good. So it's like, you do kind of have to be very particular. But the inside of the place is actually really nice. So, like, like, that's actually cool. The way the pipes twist up around and come up in the centerpiece.
Yeah, that is actually kind of neat.
That's what I'm talking about,
I mean, there are a few
doing it
good
right.
design
Yeah,
choices.
that's
I mean,
doing
the
it right.
outside is kind of mad, but
Yeah, there's just a lot of them. There's a lot of, like, you know, like I said, it looked very viney, but it was not great.
it's like the whole part of this level. Like, you could spend forever fighting your way through this place, trying to get where you're going, but I just run there.
Well, if you can, why not?
Alright, so we've got all the rest of the Princess of Hearts are just kind of hanging out, telling us that we need to hurry. They're getting tired.
Tired, they
I'm
say.
tired! Weird thing is, like, they understand, like, they've been isolated in their own worlds, and somehow they just have magical knowledge of what a Keyblade Master is.
I really feel like Aurora, they should have just, like, stuck with pink with her. No one else wears pink in the entire Disney princess anything.
Yeah, they kind of...
Like, they'll wear green, they'll wear lots of them wear blue.
Alright. Alright, we're heading in. We're gonna pick up one more Keyblade on our way in. Couldn't grab it the first time because as you enter that room, that's where it goes into a cutscene.
Oh, one of those little thingies looked like they had thorns on a vine.
We're just gonna fly over them. There's actually a few treasure chests in this area. Yeah, we'll gain levels very quickly here. We found some puppies.
Puppies! Puppies!
And so up here, you'll see one more of these little, like, containment things that the other princesses were in. I think Kyra was meant to go into that one. And so now we have one of my favorite Keyblades. Oblivion.
Ooh. I like that look.
Like, the design of it's really great, but the power of it, I feel, just lacks.
I would just keep your most powerful weapon.
Oh yeah, of course I am. I just wanted to show it off real quick.
That is pretty cool looking. I do like that.
Alright, we're going into the hole. The dark depths. And this is where we fight another giant monster, the behemoth.
Excellent. Whoa.
He's angry!
That's a cool design.
So the trick to him, you just crawl up his back and then you just beat on this. So this move I got from Captain Hook, the Arx Arcanum. And so, yeah, the whole trick is you just want to beat on his horn for a while, and then he'll stun him, and then I'll give you more time to get it broken. But once he'll come back, and then he's really angry. Yeah, you gotta try to just get out of that range. Oh, he's doing that move. Well. And you're completely invincible when you're using this move, so that's always nice. It costs a lot of MP to use, but you can see, like, it can just chip away the health really quick. I mean, you just see his horn just chipping apart here.
Nice.
Try to time the dodge roll. Because if you can dodge roll perfectly, you'll avoid all the damage. Yeah, climb up the back.
Boom, 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 boom. One more? Yes? Cool.
And so then he just disappears.
Looks good. Omega Arts.
And it's like, that one, I'm not quite sure if that one, I mean, Omega, you would think powerful and such, but there's, in Final Fantasy, there's an enemy called Omega, and he's the strongest. So, and we're just gonna walk away from the keyhole for a minute. We heard Leon. So they show up here. So this is their homeworld, technically, in this game.
Oh.
And so when it was taken over by Maleficent and consumed by darkness, they kind of had to flee. And so now that we've kind of cleared out all the bad things, they're here to kind of keep it. And they're just basically telling us, like, when we seal the keyhole, it might close off all the worlds from each other again.
Okay.
In which case they'll all be forced back to their own worlds. So they may never actually see each other again. So they're just trying to come to grips with that right now. Yeah, this is where they're explaining all that. I mean, I like the broken pipes in the back and the electricity just going through them.
We may never meet again, but we'll never forget each other.
No matter where we are, our hearts will bring us together again.
Besides, I couldn't forget you, even if I wanted to. What's that supposed to mean?
Hurry! Come and close the keyhole!
It's like, this thing's got a dark aura to it now. We should probably go deal with that.
Yikes.
Here we go. And so I'm not exactly sure, but I think this completely closes off this way to open Kingdom Hearts. Because there's a couple of different ways to open it, I guess. and like each one has like different requirements. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain what goes on. Pretty sure that was the final keyhole. Well, no, it wasn't. I guess we've got one left in the Coliseum, but we probably won't get to that one. So here they're basically telling us, it's like, yeah, the darkness is taken care of here, but there's some darkness somewhere else that's exploding. Probably should go take a look at that.
See how many girls are wearing blue? Like, they're just all in blue.
I mean, really, the only one that's got any real color is Snow White. Mm-hmm. Oh, good, we got Faraga.
Yeah, and her dress uses all primary colors. I mean, I think that was just smart for them at the time because they had just worked on... I mean, it was Disney's first feature film.
Yeah.
Animated film.
So we talk to them one more time, make sure they don't have anything else to give us. That's the one weird part about it. Usually just their story means you'll get magics and stuff, but for a few pieces of it, you have to actually talk to these people a few times to get them to give you things. I can never remember which ones do that. So head off to the gummy ship here. We're going to pick something up from Belle. And they're just telling us there's a new Coliseum battle thing to do. Let's see. Library. Perfect. Yep, here she is.
Oh, what? We see each other again. How amazing.
Yeah.
All that worry for nothing.
Well, because it's not over yet. So Maleficent had a bunch of the Ansem reports. And our friends here found them. So we talked to her a few times here, and she should give us the Karaga spell. Maybe? Yep. Now I can really stay alive. That one.
Heal.
Shows up just like that. It's a bigger show up. Alright, well, we have stemmed the tide of darkness for now, and I think we've only got one world left.
Alright.
So I think we're going to call it here for now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe.
Also, don't forget to comment any of the comments that we had. We definitely want to read what you guys think, and we'll get to responding as well.
Yeah, we'll try to stay on top of that.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, visit gamer.gamer.com and support us through Patreon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.